My name is Jared Richards, as you may know, classmates of mine. For today's project, I will be talking about Guinness beer and its impact and role in Ireland. Yes, it's a very interesting topic. So I'm going to tell you about it. Here we go. We'll get started and knock this one out there. So first, what is Guinness beer? We'll talk about that for now. Guinness beer is an Irish dry stout, and I'm sure a lot of the beer drinkers know, man, this stout is a dark beer made by using roasted malt, or roasted barley, hops, water, of course, and yeast. And these are just some pictures of the ingredients. This is roasted malt, but then I guess it's the flavor. The hops and the water, and this is the yeast. Just add them all together, ferment it. Tastes really great. It's a really strong beer, Guinness is. So we'll keep going on. To continue, traditionally, stout was used as a term to describe a stronger, more potent beer. But really, Guinness is just a common misconception, and in fact, is the opposite. Stout beers are fewer in calories and fewer in ABV, which is alcohol by volume, and than a beer like Budweiser. And so it allows you to drink a little more, enjoy a little more, and it's just a good stout. It's a good flavor. It's not like any other beer. It's just a different beer, and it tastes really good. So what makes Guinness beer stand out from the rest? There's so many beers in the world, so many breweries. So when brewing this beer, the brewers, they use malted barley, and this is the ingredient that provides the flavor and gives it that dark red ruby color. What's interesting about Guinness is that you think it's black, but if you hold it up into the light, you see a nice red color. So really, really cool. They use a double amount of hops than other beers, and it gives it more of an intense flavor and aroma. So if you don't know about beer and stuff like that, the hops, it's just what it is. It enhances the flavor. When they use a double amount, it's just so much more just intense. The special yeast is used in the crafting. It's called Guinness yeast, and it's the same strain of yeast but used by Arthur Guinness, the founder. So, and what's cool about this is it's kind of funny. They have a big batch, and they use it to make the beer, and they actually have a strand of this yeast under lock, in a big vault, and they keep it so in case anything happens to the main supply, like a fire or it just gets ruined, they still have that same strand, and they can recreate it and make the Guinness beer like it always has been, and has been since the beginning of it. And of course, water is always an ingredient. You can't really make beer without water. So, yup. So the history of Guinness beer, in order to understand the impact it has in Ireland, we need to understand where it came from, why it's there, what makes Guinness so special in Ireland. So this is a picture of Arthur Guinness. He's the founder, like I said earlier, of this great company. Not my best guess, this is a painting. I don't think this is a photograph. They didn't have him back in the 1700s. But, so just talking about Arthur Guinness. He lived from 1724. Some people say 25. I don't really know. That's when he was born. And he lived to 1803, so he lived a long, healthy life, especially for back in that day, because there was a lot of disease. So that was awesome. He was born into a family of brewers on the estate of Arthur Price, the Protestant Church of Ireland Archbishop of Cashel. So he was on the estate of Arthur Price. That's just what the guy was. He became an apprentice to his father, learning the craft of brewing. So honestly, really, Arthur learned everything he knew about beer brewing to his father, and so that's a good father and son story. Arthur became a favorite of Dr. Price. It had to become a favorite because, when Arthur Price died, he bequeathed. Sorry, this is what my source said. He bequeathed £100 to Arthur Guinness. This guy wasn't even his family, and he gave him £100 on his deathbed. So pretty close, this guy. Guinness lived after the time called the gin craze, where people were getting so drunk they were getting sick and dying. I mean, the gin craze was a time in the UK area, because it wasn't called UK, it was called Great Britain back then. That people were just drinking like insane amounts of gin, like crazy. They were getting sick, and it was just insane, and it just was it was crazy. And so, to counteract this and to save the people of Ireland, Parliament, and all of Great Britain for that matter, Parliament forbid the importation of liquor in 1689, which made people turn to making their own liquor. And this was, I mean, this is a long time before Arthur Guinness was born, but this is kind of the precedent and the precursor of why all this happened down. So Arthur and others turned to brewing beer because it was lower in alcohol and it was safer to drink and even healthier than gin. Because gin will make you nuts. Like, talk to anybody, gin is really strong, and beer is less strong. That's why a lot of people can drink it now. So, yeah. So the timeline just gives you a little basic thing of it. 1759, Arthur Guinness founded the brewery in Dublin, Ireland. And in 1769, the first export to Great Britain after he perfected his craft. The first Guinness advertisement printed was 1824. 33, the brewery became the largest brewery in Ireland. 1920, they released their campaign, Guinness is Good. That was a really big, we'll get into that later in this presentation, just stay tuned. 1950, breweries worldwide expansion. So they expanded to Africa and Australia, and actually Africa, I think, is the highest consumer of Guinness beer. Guinness Book of World Records. Now, for me, I did not make this connection that Guinness Book of World Records was the same family that created Guinness beer, and so it's a really cool kind of dynamic and aesthetic. All right. Well, don't know what happened here. Guess we'll just go on. Founding. So in 1759. Oh, hang on a minute. No, that's not. Okay, we're good. 1759, Arthur moved to Dublin, and he found an abandoned brewery at St. James Gate. This is where it all began. St. James Gate. It's a big, famous thing in Ireland. Really, right now, today is the museum, and you can go and tour in there and find out basically everything I'm telling you now. It was for rent. It was up for rent at £100 down and £45 a year to rent that out. And however, what's cool is Arthur managed to talk the owners into a $9,000 a year lease for the property. So basically, forever. I mean, we're probably not gonna get to 9,000 years, but we'll see. In 1769, Guinness exported his stout for the first time in Great Britain. As on the timeline, it's a big hit, big success for the Guinness family. This is St. James Gate in Dublin right now. It's got a really pretty black St. James Gate Brewery, Dublin. So that's pretty awesome. Getting a little picture for it. The death of Guinness, but the beginning of the inspiration. So, in 1803, Arthur Guinness died. He's just 78 years old, guys. He's just old. So just 4 years before, though, Guinness decided to just produce the black stuff, and it became a staple for Ireland. Symbol for Ireland. So black stuff is just a nickname for the beer. He was Guinness, and they were creating liquor too, and other beers, and he decided that this was just that was a staple, and it was something that was awesome, and they did it. So the Guinness dynasty, even after the death of Arthur, his legacy lived on and started the Guinness dynasty. His son Arthur II started managing the company at the age of 35 after his father's death, when the brewery was producing 809,000 gallons of beer a year. I mean, that is insane, especially in the 1800s. And during his leadership of the company, he brought the annual sales to 4 million gallons of beer a year. And he finally died in 1855. Continued, the next legend to lead the company was the son of that guy, Benjamin Lee. He became the mayor of Dublin earlier in his life in Dublin in 1851. He brought the company to an estimated of 65 million pounds of today's standards. So that was a pretty big thing. After his death, the company was handed off as follows. Edward Cecil, and these are all, it was passed down to the family, so this is all related to the family. Rupert Guinness, second son of second Earl of Igave, is just his title. Edward Ernest Walter Saunders. It's just names, that they just. But it's not all about the Guinness family, So Guinness is not about a family or about Arthur Guinness at all. If it were, its company wouldn't even be what it is today. And it's much bigger than that. And something I learned doing this. It's literally a culture of people for Ireland. It really is a sense of pride. People in Ireland take pride in it. It's a world-renowned beer, and because of this, so much tourism comes to Ireland, and it brings in a lot of money for them. They're just renowned. Ireland's renowned for their Lucky Charms. We call those people leprechauns. Pot of Gold and Dublin beer. And Lucky the Irish. So yeah. The legacy. So this is pretty awesome. This is how Guinness is really trying to affects the world. So a really famous story of Guinness in World War II. At the start of the war, Guinness promised every British soldier a pint of Guinness with their Christmas meal. And think about them, they were honest people. They were good people. They were Protestants. They went to church. They were really active in the church. And they were just really good people. But there was a problem. So because of the war, it pulled all the men in the factories out from working. So he didn't have any manpower to get it done. And what was so cool was that Guinness was such a staple in Ireland that retired workers, women, I think even children came and worked in the factory and helped produce the beer to send. And by Christmas, every British soldier had a pint of beer, a pint of Guinness in their Christmas dinner. So that was, that is pretty awesome, man. Barack Obama did that for me. I'd cry. It's just something that makes you feel connected to your government, makes you feel connected to the people, and it's not just about a dog-eat-dog world. It's about people caring for one another, like Guinness, the factory, the culture did for the people of Ireland and Britain. The legacy of the family, they are the greatest philanthropic family groups on earth. They give so much more. They give so much money out to organizations, charities. It's amazing how much money they give out. It's crazy. One of the heirs of Guinness family received £5 million as a wedding gift. And the fun fact about this is he used that and bought an estate in the poorest part of town in Ireland for his wife, just to bring attention to that area, so that they could gentrify it up, and make Ireland as a whole a better place. And this is kind of legacy they leave. The family and like that, they're comparable to the Rockefellers in America. They're that big of a family. It's just that important to Ireland as the Rockefellers are to America. He decided to move with her to. Yep. Okay, we already said that. Another story, in 1800s, Edward Cecil Guinness, he was one of the leaders that we named off earlier. He was made the first Lord of Igave, and he gave back by creating a trust to build home for the poor. And so, while he was leading this company, he cared about people. Even though they're in their welfare, he was instrumental in making Ireland a better place. The employees. So Guinness cares about their employees still today. Their welfare is held up to the utmost importance. That was in their contracts with Guinness, that they would be taken care of no matter what. After the potato famine, I can't remember if it was on my next slide or if I just was supposed to talk about it. But the potato famine, after that, everybody was dying and suffering and going to poverty. And Guinness, they were the wealthiest, well-known, wanted bachelors in Ireland. They were the most coveted jobs after, because Guinness took care of them during this hard time. And so that was pretty awesome of them. Company private education. Just that list goes on. During this time, the housing. It was a big step for the poor. There it goes. So, Guinness is brewed, with the profits. Guinness are brewed in over 150 countries. I mean, that's millions and millions and millions of dollars. Over 10 million glasses of Guinness is sold every day. 10 million. That's insane, Just one beer, The company is now worth 7.4 million pounds, which is over $100 million US dollars. So, it's pretty awesome. Advertisements. So, 1824, they produced their first advertisement, and it looked just like this, okay? It had, this is supposed to be, I believe, Napoleon, Battle of Waterloo. Yes, please, camera zoom in. It says, when I was sufficiently recovered to take some nourishment, I felt the most extraordinary desire for a glass of Guinness. Oh, by the way, it's not Napoleon. This is a British soldier. But this is referencing to Napoleon's defeat at Waterloo. Upon expressing my wish to the doctor, he told me I might take a small glass. I thought I had never tasted anything so delightful. I am confident that in contributing more than anything else to the renewal of my strength. Pretty awesome ad. Thank God they got better, because I can't read that on driving by, it's just too much. So this is just an example of one ad. Some more examples. So they started out with, I believe this right here. They had series, They had the Guinness, my goodness, my Guinness, and they had so many different zoo animals. And this one, the ostrich one, was portrayed to be like the ostrich didn't know that he knew that the Guinness beer was so good, so he ate the whole cup, and so it got caught in his gullet there. So just a bunch of funny stuff, just how good it was. Guinness was believed to give you strength too, so Guinness for strength. It just shows some burly men barely picking up an iron, freaking beam with his fingertips. I mean, come on. And so the main one, I think, was they also had a toucan. If he can say as you can, Guinness is good for you. How grand to be a toucan. Just think what two can do. So it's kind of like a pun. It's kind of two can do. Lovely day for Guinness. It's just that they were fascinated with the toucan. Guinness is good for you. A major advertisement for Guinness. Really portrayed Guinness is good for you. And studies have shown that there's truth in some of that, some are not. I'm going to talk about it a little later too. So move on. Modern day TV advertisements. I mean, we're going to show you a short little clip here of this man. This is beautiful, guys. Just listen. Oh shoot, what's going on here? Oh crap! Here, hang on a second. Let me go over here. Here we go, guys. This is awesome. Prepare to cry.
Choices we make reveal the true nature of our character.
So that was just an example of how great Guinness is these people. So as another video, but as of for time at sakes, no sir. As of time's sake, we're just gonna keep going on. If you really want to watch this, you can. I'm sure. I think we saw it in class a long time ago. So. It's just the empty chair, kind of like means more, made of more. That's like their kind of slogan. So, back to the Guinness Book of World Records. They founded this. Insane. I mean, it just blows my mind. I can't believe it. This is the same family, it's crazy. It started out when a man by the name of Hugh Beaver had a dispute over whether a certain bird was the fastest in the world. And then it sparked an idea. It's just like, I bet thousands of conversations like this happen every day over a pint of beer, and he was drinking Guinness. And so then he contacted the Guinness family, decided to set up a little deal with them, and they got going, and it became the best-selling book of the year. I mean, for years. But Bible, of course, is always the best, but not always the best, but always the most selling. And so but it's second best, so it's pretty awesome. Renowned all over the world. So here's some myths. We're almost done wrapping it up. Some myths about Guinness. It's high in alcohol. But that's false. It's not boozy at all. It contains 4.2% ABV compared to the normal 5%. I mean, that means you can drink more on St. Patty's Day. And it is a strong beer, so it's really hard to get down. But if you can, good for you, man. You can handle the alcohol really good, really well. It is high in calories. A 12-ounce serving, only 125 calories. That's it. And Bud Light, a light beer, has 110. So you can have a light beer versus a full-on regular, buddy. I'm gonna tell you, it's just Guinness. And Guinness is good for you. This is partly true, as I mentioned before. Moderate drinkers have shown reduction in risk of heart attack and cardiovascular disease. Now, if you drink alcohol a lot, it will destroy your liver. So it's a healthy balance you gotta have. So maybe once a day for women and twice a day for men. I think it sounds good to me. So summary. Guinness is a culture, people. Come on, believe it. It's not just a brewery. Not just a brewery. It's not just a family. It is not one family. It's Ireland's a family. It brings them together. It's a culture. It's a significance behind it. It means something. It's a staple, a symbol for the Irish, the Fighting Irish, not Notre Dame, but the Fighting Irish of the Ireland. It's a huge income for Ireland. It brings them so much money, so much attraction for tourism, just so many sales, and all that goes back to the people. All goes back to charity. It helps the world improve, not just a family, one family. And it's the largest brewery in the world, people. Come on, it's produced in 150 countries. It is awesome. These are my sources, citations here. I want to appreciate you guys for listening. Get on the discussion board, comment away. I hope you liked it. If you watched at the end, I hope it was a little bit of funny for you. Guinness is a culture, guys, and so I wanted to bring culture to you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a lot. I did. Guinness rocks, guys. See you on the flip side.